everyone. This is episode 109 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is Lee, Miles Shacker, as always, OSG. How's it going, sir?
What up, man? Chilling. You know how it be. Just catching soccer, left and right. But some good soccer, some not good soccer. But yeah, just chilling. What's going on with you?
Really interesting week for me. Well, like this past weekend, I've been stuck on races for a while, like here in Austin, and this endurance racing championship going on, like cars going at 200 miles per hour, and so kind of changed the scenery for me in terms of sports, but it's been interesting to say the least because I don't really pay attention a lot to motorsports, but something cool that you don't get to see every day. So I got that going on, and of course, all the soccer happening in Europe that just started out going on in the fourth or fifth week, and it's been insane. But of course, college football just started, so there's also that going on. So a lot of sports, honestly.
Absolutely. My Texas football's back. Got the Houston Texans starting next week, so full force,
Yep.
like you said, full force. But yeah, Texas Longhorns looking forward to it this year. So sorry, guys, into this pod, but you're Cougar fans. You chose your fate, yeah. Or Aggies, you chose your fate. So, hook them and hold them.
Yeah, they're H's, so it's fine by me. And no, there's something to talk about this week. Of course, no Dynamo to talk about, but plenty of Dash and Dynamo for different reasons. But first, we'll get started with the Dash. And there's a lot I have to say about the Dash, but first we're going to focus on the game itself because there's still issues going on, to say the least. And we are heading into this game with a lot of pieces missing and a lot of concerns for a lot of the fans that have been watching this team this year in particular. And I don't know where to start, man, because my mind, when it comes to the Dash, I had to watch this game again because I did watch it live, but I had to watch the replay again for a couple reasons, and mainly because the lineup itself and how it was structured. And man, I don't know where to start with OSG, but I need a refresher here because my mind is just everywhere with this lineup and all.
Well, let's just start at the beginning. Bachman's not available. Ramona Bachman is excused absence again, and the club is not saying nothing. So let's go ahead and speculate and make it easy to speculate that Ramona Bachman may not be returning to the team for various reasons, for whatever reasons. It may be a mutual agreement, and you can probably understand it the way this team is operating right now. But, Ramona Bachman, not available, excused absence. She is not posting anything on her Instagram. So that's telling you something as well, because she's usually posting family and her just checking out Houston and all that, or whatever she's doing, enjoying. But so she's not even doing that. So something's going on with Bachman. She may not be returned. So I'm just speculating. But I guess we can start right there, man. Ramona Bachman. Sad to speculate that she may not be returning to the team. Hoping that she returns to the team. Where are you at?
Extremely disappointed, and I don't want to start my rant here, but it's just one of those reasons. A lot when it comes to miscommunication and the amount of excused absences, and it doesn't only go to Ramona, but there's definitely a reason why that's the case. And I've been a fan of Ramona Bachman since she was here, like this year. Like she's one of the difference makers this team needed, and granted, most of the performances that we have been seeing have been somewhat inconsistent, but she's an important piece that hasn't been available for a while now, and it's just disappointing because we need those pieces, and we're stuck in this position now.
She's under contract with us, and so we have to wait until a European window comes open for her to be able to leave here, because obviously the NWSL window just closed, so she's probably trying to return back home or return back overseas or whatever, and maybe just said forget the NWSL altogether, because the Dash just kind of made it just taste like puke in her mouth. So who knows what's going on with there? But like I said, it's easy to speculate. But that's on the front office of the Houston Dash for allowing us to speculate and not giving us any type of news, because there is something you can say and just And if it's a mutual agreement where we're going to separate ties, we're just waiting for the transfer window. Go ahead, just get it out there and say so, man. Jesus, I mean, it's not like the season's freaking on a high note. So what difference does it make? It's time to say. I think we just, time to say. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the absences here, and Ramona is one, and the one that was also listed earlier this week was Courtney Peterson, and we actually found as to why that was the case, and that was because she was traded out by the time the transfer window closed. So if you get like a trade in before the transfer window closes, you can still announce it later. And I was shocked by this one because Courtney Peterson, if you could have silver linings in this season, she was one of those silver linings so far. And just every time, like even just coming off the bench whenever she wasn't starting, she was making a difference in the games that she played. She was just trying to open up the game a little bit more to her best availability, and I was just completely shocked that she was just traded out just like that. And a really important piece that we needed, and a player that just balls out every time I see her. And it's just one of those things. Like, are we building something here, or are we just taking a different approach? And it's just for me, it's just infuriating.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you say about it? But I don't know what to say about it. Peterson, you felt like she was an important piece. You don't know how important she was. I mean, you trust her to come off the bench. She was aggressive in the attack. She was getting some good crosses off. She's a player that grew on me in the past year and a half that she's been with the team as well. Because I gave her a lot of crap last year for her defensive capabilities, but she's grown and she's improved at that situation. And maybe she's become a commodity. I mean, 45 grand doesn't sound like a lot, but I think it's a decent number within the NWSL. Within the NWSL, but like you said, the timing of it and why we did it. What was the purpose of doing it? We got nothing in return but cash. Our window's already closed, so we can't bring nobody in. So we're not using that money to bring somebody in. So what was the purpose of it? Are we stockpiling the money to use at the end of the season, and effectively the season is over? So what are we doing with it? But yeah, didn't make sense and was a surprise to about anybody and everybody who follows the Dash, except for the people who made the move.
And you said it yourself, no replacement either this window, as far as we know. And it's just disappointing. Like we're doing all these moves, we have something going at some times, and momentum is just like stopped on its tracks because because it just seems like we see something good going on, we have something great, and there's still a couple things we can build off here, but moves like these, and just the fact that we're still without a GM, we're still looking for one, and it's just like I feel like we're just like shooting to see what sticks on the wall, and it's just infuriating, confusing, all the emotions. Like I don't know what to say.
I mean, yeah, I mean, with losing this friggin' game, which we don't even need to talk about it. We lost 3-1, but with losing this game, we fall into last place in the NWSL right now, which in all trueness is basically, if we had any chance of trying to make a run to make the eighth position in the playoffs, has been pretty much eliminated now. We'd have to win out the rest of our games to even make the playoffs. So forget about that. The rest of the season is just a training session and a building session and to decide who wants to stay here and be here. But like you said, no GM. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like seeing our people in public. You see him walking around the stadium a little bit, talking about the technical advisor, but you never see him in public. You never see him make an announcement. You never see him in a press conference. You never see him anywhere. Nothing. Not even on Twitter. I would assume. I don't. Maybe I don't have him on Twitter, but you're not seeing any comments from this guy. And usually, I like the ones that are more open to the public, as Asher is sometimes. And Asher's very professional about how he does it. Pat, he develops his way through Gwen Davis on his shows and talks to us. Jessica O'Neill, she is very open to the public. You don't hear any open interviews out in the from the news or anything like that. But she does say hi, she does talk to the public, but obviously that's not a good time to be like, hey, what's going on with the freaking team, lady? uh, got some things to figure out, most definitely. And if you want to get into this little segment that I've got right here, man, we got a free agency list that is as long as me having to wipe my butt 3 different times from 3 different sessions. So that's how long the free agency list is for the Houston Dash. And so, like I said, that paper's long, man. So, but before we get into it, I'll let you finish your comment on the rest of that situation that's going on.
No, yeah, and you set it up. I felt like you set it up correctly because one of the things I also wanted to bring up is the fact that the new CBA with all the NWSL players was pretty much announced this week. And what it does, it pretty much gives a lot of power for the players to choose where they are going to land in any of the clubs in the NWSL. And one of the things they also did was not just those options for players to take when it comes to like free agency or all these new kinds of mechanisms, but also the fact that they eliminated the NWSL draft. So one of the main avenues of the Dash have been pretty much taking like for the past few seasons to get new talent in, it's pretty much cut off. So the Dash now have to resort to free agency or all these kinds of new ways to reach out to clubs and hopefully attract new players to come in and play for them. And it's not looking good. Like the Dash as an organization right now, they find themselves in a pretty tough place. As we mentioned earlier, no GM. We do have the technical director just came in, Piñones Arce, that I'm assuming he's been doing work behind the scenes because we just got rid of Alex Singer and taking all these approaches to improve the club. But you said it earlier, communication, transparency has not been there. Granted, you don't have to tell us everything that's going on because there's obviously the legality of the situation, if you can say it or what you can't say. But the perfect example is there, like Ashley Mullenson on Twitter communicating what can be said to us, and Pat Onstad is going to radio shows almost every single week, telling us what the situation is right now. And I'm not saying that the Dash have to pretty much have to do all the things Dynamo are doing right now. They can just do their own thing. They can just come in like once a week or once every 2 weeks and tell us what's going on either on Twitter or their own way, because the way the club is looking right now on paper is unacceptable. And I kind of said it already like on Twitter because I like after that loss and everything that happened this week, it's just like it's unacceptable because we still don't have the GM like we just mentioned. Farrell Alonso still gone for 2 months without an official status. We just let go of Courtney Peterson, which is one of the best players in the team, like in terms of form. And all these excuse absences going on, all these players are injured for some particular reason or another. And I'm not putting the blame on the players that are actually injured or on maternity leave. It's just the culture in the locker room, the how people perceive the club, not just like internally but also and externally, so neutrals and all that. Like this organization needs a reset severely. This organization just needs to open up and just get a fresh face or do something else. Do some sort of reset like a Dynamo did. But that's just a lot to ask right now because I do know like there's players and staff members that really care about improving this situation. Of course, Ricky Clark is one of them. But at the end of the day, it's just people calling the shots that that we have no idea what's going on. They're not communicating anything to us, and we just left in the blank. And as you mentioned earlier, we're just speculating at this point because there's nothing we can do right now. We have all the information that's provided to us by uh, journalists from other platforms because the club is not just not saying anything. So it's just really infuriating, really disappointing. This approach of the season, and now we're in last place, and it's just gonna be like a building session, like you said. But how the future looks, no idea, man. No idea.
Well, with the way the past couple of years are going with the coaching carousel and the way the situation is now with your head coaches in MIA, you have an interim coach, you don't have a GM. Uh, so you have a lot of 1,000 questions and no answers right now. I think the Dash do need a dynamo reset, as what Pat Onset did whenever he came in and completely did a reset and shuffled everybody out and only held on to a couple of players from that 20, what was it, 21 team. So I believe the Dash can do it. Here is an opportunity to do it, as you said, free agency. I.e., Courtney Peterson had to, mention the CBA, Courtney Peterson had to agree to that trade for that trade to even happen too. So probably the surprising of her coming to me and sitting down and be like, hey, we want to trade you to, Racing Louisville's offered to say, you want to come play over here. And she's like, well, I guess if you want to, so why not? But so she probably had to make that decision on her own, and was a better move for her, and it may be a better move. She is returning with Vigiano, who's over there as well. So hey, a little Dash reunion, and I saw them say hi on Twitter to each other. So so good for her, but whatever. But going back to the free agency, man, it's 3, 6, 9, 12 players on the list, and technically it's not 12, but 12 players on the list, man. I'm going to run through them real quick, have a little comment, and then kind of ask you a particular question. But Lozi's on the list. Asan Chappie, who just returned back from maternity leave. Jalissa Hurst, Natalie Jacobs, McKinney, the third string keeper, Paige Nielsen. But she's not on the list no more. Just signed for 4 years, and we're keeping her. And
Yep.
Theo with a great article talking to her and getting personal about it, and she deciding with her wife as well, because her wife did not like that quick adjustment move that Angel City pulled out from under her, but she's adjusted to Houston and she's enjoying it and looks forward to her and her wife can develop in her with her family in this city and with this team, and she believes in the package. She also hinted. And so this is something we need to get Jessica O'Neill with too. The 3-year plan that the Dash have enstewed right now. So there is obviously a plan in the works, but we don't know what that is and what that plan entiles. So we're gonna have to do our journalistic detectivism and find out and try to get that answer out of the group and see if we can get it out of the FO herself, for Jessica O'Neill. But yeah, Paige, 4 years, I'm good with that. I'm good with that signing. Before I move on to the rest, I'm sure if you want to comment on Paige, I think that's huge. She's small stature, but she's a big beast of a player, and I think she belongs here, and she belongs in with this culture that we have here, and gonna build off of her as one of the core players.
So yeah, Paige Nielsen is one of the players that they had to bring back, and I'm glad that as soon as the free agency list was announced, they already had a deal worked out and all. And I figured she was one of the players that was going to stick around for hopefully a long term. And thankfully, she's locked down for the upcoming season. And the free agency period, this is a perfect opportunity for the reset, like we just talked about. And they're they're going to have to make some tough calls
Hold
because
on.
a lot of
So
players have
I'm
to
I'm
go.
not I'm not done with the list. I just asked you about Paige Nielsen and what you thought about
Yeah,
her signing and
well,
staying with the club.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
so as
I got a
moving
lot of
on.
things to say.
Yeah. So moving on. Peterson is on that free agency list as well. So she was just traded to Louisville, but long shot. There's a chance she can't come back. She has. From what I have seen, I don't think she signed a contract with them yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. And she'll get an extension over there. Sarah Puttengam is on the list as well, and Havana Salon. Now, the biggest one I say for the last is Barb Oliveri. So I'm good
Yep.
with taking all of them and tossing them out the door and doing the complete reset. Natalie Jacobs, I would be disappointed about losing. Tarsion's going to stay. As we've seen in this game, Tarsion actually played the center back role, and Jacobs played on the right. Nielsen's here to stay, playing the left. So, we do have Katie Lynn at some point returning. So obviously that'll be next season, and she'll be a center back role. Will she be the same? Who knows? We can't rely on that right now, though. So who's going to be our right back? Is Jacobs going to return? I would love to see her to return, and we can work off of keeping her. Barb Oliveri is one I would like to see stick with the team. I believe there's somebody that, depending on, you have a lot of options as to what you can use her and how you can use her. So I think she can fit in with a lot of the options with whoever the coach is next season and what style that coach will bring. If it is Ricky Clark, I'm pretty sure Ricky Clark has his own style and he will make big adjustments from what Fran was coaching. He's sticking to Fran's style right now with making tweaks to it, not to blow the whole season. But now it doesn't matter. So now he can do whatever the hell he wants the rest of the season and showcase his job. But like I said, Barb Oliveri. Puntingham grew on me this season playing CDM, but I'm okay if we need to go fill something else out. But everybody else on the list, I think I'm okay with. We'll be able to find something else and bring in. There's that free agency list that we're talking about is nice and long. So there are names out there that if we can convince to bring in by showing, let's go out and hire this GM that we have. Let's go and settle our coach, and let's go hit that free agency market. But any names on that list you would like to keep besides, Barb? Well, you could start with Barb.
No bias, man, but sure. But yeah, bring her back, and honestly, like when it comes to the so-called 3-year plan and the reset, this is a perfect opportunity for the reset, and it's gonna be very very favorable for us to go young. Granted, not to get rid of all the veterans, we could just keep a few of them around just to help with the build up for just heading into next year. Thinking about that, since at the end of the day, this is financial squad that's been taking care of Ricky Clark, and he has different ideas as we have seen of all the games he has been coaching so far. And this is a perfect moment because, like, over the past few years, it's just been a lot of players, a mix and match of youth and veterans, and not a lot of cohesion for the most part. And this is a perfect opportunity. I just hope that we go young. We start focusing on that. We definitely have the pieces, like all those players, those veteran players that can just help with that build out. Of course, we have Jane Campbell in the back line with all that experience and all that. And it's just gonna be a matter of like what's this 3-year plan all about? Because I can easily just say, hey, go young, keep a few of the old players in, let's do it. But if you manage to convince players to come into Houston, that's great. But I still like to see it in person.
Well, and then like we also say, we need to get a GM and a coach here, and we need to see, Jesus Christ, how many times are we gonna have to say that? How many? Gonna have to say that too. That's freaking crazy. So because that free agency list is long. That's on the team. So there is a couple players that could fit into particular styles. I like what Jalissa Harris brings to the table, and I think she could be a great versatile player. Starting with the defense, you've seen that she can move up and play a little midfield too when we're needing to attack. Alozi, if you can find a particular position for her, I'd probably. Sorry, Alozi, probably would like to just move on and just find a little more dynamic player. But if she can fit in, it's something she could come off the bench and still perform. But I'm sure she's looking to start. But as far as anybody else on that list, man, it's like, okay. I mean, Asan, she doesn't get playing time now, so we don't even know what she's got. Chappie's just returning, not getting playing time to show if she's got form or anything like that. Sophie Hirst is one that's liked by the coaches, but doesn't get the time as much. So that's somebody that could stick around and sneak in. McKinney, third string keeper, most likely she'll take off or she'll stick around depending on what her situation is. Puntingham, who knows? That's kind of up in the air, And then Salon, I'm pretty sure Salon will be gone. She has been kind of stuck here, not getting playing time for 3 or 4 years now. So you never know. But I'm with you on the reset. Let's just throw everything out the window, and I hope that 3-year plan is rolling right now, and it's not sitting in a stable situation where and the motor's not running. It better not be idle. It better be rolling, and we better be getting that GM. We better be looking to know what we want to do with our coach. And I'm sorry, Ricky Clark. It doesn't look like it would be you, anyways. So thank you for what you're doing. Hopefully, you're able to stick around and be the assistant for whoever does come in. We need to establish and get something stable in soon. And that's not, and that's first thing you gotta, let Fran Alonso go at the same time before you could do anything, or Ricky Clark's your intern coach. Period. So that's a crazy situation. But now we're getting down to the end season where you're gonna have to say something.
No, this is more of a call to Jessica O'Neill and Pablo Piñones Arce because they're the ones that are pretty much in charge, as far as we know. Apparently, there's a GM consultant that was a former Dynamo player that has been working with Orlando Pride, Eric Ustruck, that is managing the moves, but no official word, and that's probably what I have to go with because of it. It was reported by a a source from ESPN, Jeff Kasov, I believe, but we had this more color for Jessica O'Neill and Pablo Piñones Arce because they're the ones that are in charge of the project. The players, some of the players that we have that are still invested, you could say Andresa, for example, she was she's one of the players that is still believing in this project or like the club and the players that she's representing. Like in the last game, she's been fighting for every single ball up until that goal, and still she's been pressing over and over. Like, and every time we see her play in media appearances and all that, she's just one of those players that has to stay. Like one of the pieces, the veterans that has to be there for the long term. And I'm just bringing her into this conversation because like Jessica O'Neill and Pablo, they have to think about the players that want to stay and the changes that have to be made for the long term. Because right now, cool, you can use the rest of the season as a building session, but they have to execute. They have to call the shots and make those tough decisions because right now there's nothing to look forward to. Like
Look, we
plain
have
and
a
simple.
we have a little bit of a core to build off of and build around it that that are going to stick around unless those players are behind the scenes asking for trades or wanting to walk out at the end of the season. But you have you mentioned Andresa, you have Ordonez. I saw something that Smith was on this list, but I didn't see her as a free agent, so I'm assuming she's still with us. I'll have to look in that. I got mixed feelings there, or not feelings, but mixed readings there. Obviously, you have Tarsian and Page, and then of course your goalkeeper Jane Campbell not going nowhere for the next 4 years. So you have something to build around of, and start with that culture, and then bring in players around that. L. Rubinson as well, who is in that midfield, who is going to still be here. So and it seems like she's enjoying her time in Houston with her family. So yeah, like you said, you do have a core to build off of. Avery Patterson. Let's please don't forget Avery Patterson. Even just a rookie is showing so much growth and talent in this game, and should definitely be a cornerstone to what we're building around of. And you got Amanda West sitting back there. Still a lot to prove for her, but you have a couple players here and there, so something to build off of. Just here at the end of the season, I'm sure after that last game, us, the fans and the media, are going to be begging for Jessica O'Neill to come out and tell us what this 3-year plan is, what the idea is, what the plan is to get a GM, what the plan is. You know what? If they haven't made that decision, I'll put in that damn request to just talk to her, and I'll sit her down and be like, hey, here's the questions I'm going to ask you. Let's put this on video. Here we go. And we'll figure it out. We'll try to get down to it, man, because those are questions I'm sure everybody's going to want answered, and everybody's going to be begging to be answered. But interesting times, Houston Dash. Ted Siegel, I'm sure, is lingering over. I mean, guy's not that tall, but I bet you they're looking up at him like, shit, let's get to work, guys. Let's fix this.
Yep.
I mean, fix it right now. Jessica O'Neill, you're the next one. All the other hot seats have been taken out, so
Yep.
you're the hot seat next. So come on, girl. You got to fix it now, or go ahead and catch that plane ticket with the rest of everybody else on this free agent list that's leaving.
Yep. And she's next. And oh, by the way, we're playing Gotham this weekend, and yeah, Amor's time.
Yeah, that's why obviously in this session of this segment of the of Noodle Time, we focused on the essentials as far as the team is going, and not essentially the game itself and how ugly the game was, and who our next opponent and how ugly that game could be. You say it all the time. We play well on the road, so I'm hoping we can play well on the road and just perform well and just forget it. And maybe if Ricky Clark's even smart enough to be like, "Hey, girls, let's just not worry about the playoffs. Let's just not worry about the push. Let's just worry. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on our training, and let's focus on just finishing strong the rest of the season." There may be some of you that want to leave this team or are going to be looking for something better. Let's go out and prove yourself and earn and use those minutes that you're about to get for this the rest of the season. And let's do make something important to what is remaining for the rest of the season. And then hopefully the girls would clap, because that's a great speech from the coach. Ricky, if you're listening, I just repeated what you said already. You don't have to say it.
Yeah, go Dash. And yeah, road game against Gotham. This one's actually going to be on ESPN, so national TV. So great. And
if you don't have DirecTV. DirecTV is at a ESPN speed right now, so you need ESPN Plus if you want to watch the game right now.
Yeah, right as of now, yeah. We'll see, and it's a perfect opportunity to try something new since playoffs are essentially out of reach unless they win out the rest of the season. So, yeah,
not worried about the playoffs now no more. Just the focus, But yeah, from Dash TF on to Donna Dub. Is that what I'm hearing lingering in the background over there?
Man, all I can say right now is I love Hollywood, man.
So does Ben Olsen. So does Ben Olsen.
I love Hollywood. Goddamn, man. 2-0 at LAFC. Man,
well,
what a game.
Going into this match, LA just came off of the Leagues Cup semifinal or Leagues Cup final and an Open Cup semifinal. They lost the Leagues Cup. They won the Open Cup on Wednesday. They had 2 days of rest before this game, Thursday and Friday, which one of them they had to practice in. And then Saturday you're playing us, and they played a good. I think they had 3 lineup changes in their roster, so they still played a good team. They're at home, of course. They've only lost 2. Who did they only lost to? Was it RSL? Somebody. They lost to somebody at home twice the last 2 times, and we come in. We did it last year, and we did it again this year. Even though you didn't know what to expect because the Dynamo have been so inconsistent. But yeah, like you said, we love Hollywood. Great dub over there. What a win. What a game. I know Ben was happy for the win.
Yeah, just before we start talking about the game, just to go off what OSG said, in league play, they only lost once at home.
Yeah.
And we did do the job last year. We did get the home win and all that, but this is different. LAFC, of course, they have like all these players MLS loves to promote, and this grass that is definitely subpar and all that. And I said it last episode, the boys, these are all the players that we need right now. At the moment, we are an amazing team. For some reason, we fumbled against Toronto FC for all the reasons we talked about last time. But man, this game right here was almost perfect. They've all bowled out almost. Like it's just like that. One way you're just gonna lose at home. The other time I think we have the best away record in the league right now, and it's just like what. I don't know where to start. Like it's just like a lot of things to talk about, a lot of positives.
Well, like you said, 7 wins on the road. You repeated what Dynamo history repeated. Like I think we had 7 wins in the span of 3 years prior to that.
Yep.
So yeah, so 7 wins is good, and we still got a couple more road games to get some more road wins. But coming into LA, who's the second place team, you knew you could take advantage of their. They're not rested, and you're not missing nobody. Nobody's hurt. Coco Carastilla is returning to the team. Was on the bench, but not as a starter. So you've got a full lineup, and you can put your full forces. And of course, Ben is going to start his best 11 with Coco missing. That's the only position that you're like, who's he going to start? You think it's Blessing, and you're definitely okay with it when it's Seba who's listed there as a starter. So yeah. Shout out to Seba for finally getting his start. And Ben even mentioned that Seba's been asking for more minutes. So this is a good opportunity for him to get to start. He says he fits well against LAFC. So we could probably expect another start from Seba next week. Just who's going to come out? Will it be Coco? Will it be Bossy? Because I know next week is International Week, but I don't think Coco's going with Panama. I think it's a different team playing for Panama or whatever. But yeah, so Coco still be with us, and LA I think is missing 3 players on international duty next week. So let's see if we can keep it up. But it's yeah. But Ben, with that typical Ben's lineup, Ben's besties, best 11.
Yep,
You
best
only got to worry
besties.
about that one trains with Coco. So
No, yeah, I do agree. I was happy with that Seba got the chance to start here, and Coco's making his way back since he was a bit off the bench. And he actually was up in the second half, so it's good. As long as the players get those opportunities to prove themselves, it's great. And Sebas is one of those players that I've been looking forward to this year.
So since we're on the Seba talk right now, let me segue into a little OSG thinks.
All
And
right.
this is a topic between the fans and it's not a shot at Bossy at all because I like the way Bossy plays. He's a creative player. He is a mainstay and he is Ben's besties. Seba is also the same position as Bossy and doesn't get to start and doesn't get to play as much. He comes off the bench and usually typically subs in for Bossy and just brings so much more energy, I think, than Bossy does whenever he's on the ball. Bossy's more looking for those passes. Seba does a little more dribbling and tries to create those passes, so you do get something too different. But I would like to start seeing them. And Ben, please, I know you know, start switching these two guys. Seba needs to start for Bossy. So, i.e., next week, this coming game, you're going to start Olio on the left wing. That's obvious. There's no even question about that. Ponce at the striker. So you got Coco returning back over there. So who's your middle guy right here? It's going to be Bossy, right? Well, can we start Seba? You already said he fits in against LAFC, so maybe Bossy can start on the bench this game, and I would like to see that move. Maybe a Seba for Bossy splitting time, not necessarily. I know that's a tough one, but starting over Bossy, that's still a bigger argument. I know a lot of people will take Seba's side, and some will still take Bossy's side. And like I said, it's not a shot against Bossy doing anything wrong. I think he's just Sebas can provide a little bit more and a little bit something different. I think he needs to get the opportunity to start more instead of coming off the bench and trying to create something late.
And yeah, I feel like a lot of changes surrounding Basi are going to be hard to come by because he's Ben's bestie. You know, he like Ben loves it. He plays, how he contributes to each game in his own way. And yeah, even if he doesn't shoot that often, is still gonna find a way to get the ball through in the final third, and he's gonna contribute as much as possible. So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I do agree that Basi should be playing as well as Seba.
Interesting. Curious. Yeah. So we'll see what Ben does this coming weekend. If Coco's ready to start, he did get to play and he worked his way into the game. So I assume he'd be ready to go back to 90 minutes at home. So does Coco start? Does Bossy start? Or does Seba start? One of those three is going to have to take the bench. So we'll see who it is. It's very, very curious to what Ben will do, man. Yeah. But, otherwise, great game. Back to the game. Ponce is a huge piece that we brought in and expect to turn not this team around because we were there, but expect to be that finishing piece that we are needing to get us over this hump and put us into that top tier of teams in the MLS. You know, these announcers kept naming 5 teams from the East and the West, 2 from the West, the LAs, and then the 3 from the East is, your top tier teams. And I want to put us in that list. We're just not there yet, but Ponce is that guy who comes in and is supposed to be that guy to help us get there. I rate his performance this game as a pretty damn good performance. Pretty damn good performance. And what he does on the ball, off the ball, puts himself in situations. Granted, the ball just fell to him, but he finished it, so good for him. Take that goal. But he's doing everything right in his press. His press with the team pressing behind him, it looks like they're finally friggin' in sync. And this might have been a one-game wonder where they were just in that much sync. So hopefully we can see to do it again next week. I know LA's going to make some adjustments, and our press might have to change as well. But the press in this game, starting with Ponce up top, and the Bossy behind him, Seba on that other side with their quickness, Aliyu at one part with his quickness as well. It was looking great, and just it was awesome to see. But Ponce, man, he's got mixed reviews from the fans right now. So where are you at with the teeter totter bar?
I was mostly just patient because it was gonna take some time to adapt, and he finally got his first league goal here. And just like you said, we did see a lot of positives going to this one. and just forgot the game really. Like he was just so opening up to all the opportunities he can get, and he was finally able to convert like because he was set up by Eric Svechenko in the during the corner kick sequence. So it's great, and hopefully there's more to come. A lot of people have I can understand why people have been somewhat critical because of his price tag and all that, but it's gonna take time. He has to. It's gonna take time either way. He pretty much had to understand how the teams plays and try to adjust things, and hopefully that is still going that way, trending towards more goals down the road, and that's what we need right now because you said it yourself. He's literally the finishing piece, so I'm looking forward to it.
And he's a bigger, stronger body, and he showed it during this game too, where he was using his physicality to his advantage. Finally, I think he's adjusting to the league, like you said, and his physicality. There was one play where the defender was a little slow in making the decision, and Ponce kind of bowed him and took the ball away and created a shot. And even though it wasn't a good shot, but it forced the keeper to make a save at the same time. And then he bodied a couple other times. He's working off the ball. He's not losing the ball because he's getting hit by defenders. He's maintaining his possession and he's able to get rid of the ball. So that's something different than what Sebas has. Sebas can be taken off the ball, even though they both received the ball well and look great. One thing Ponce does need to work on is he needs to, and he tried. Those couple shots were blocked, but I was going to say he needs to more work on taking those opportunities and turning them into shot opportunities. And Sebas will pull a rabbit out of his hat, just take a shot out of nowhere, and you weren't expecting it. So something he can do. But yeah, still liking him, but he's getting harsh criticism because he's the same type of player as Sebas is as well. He's just a different build of the same type of 9 is the big difference here. But we'll see. Like you said, we'll be patient.
And no, yeah, it's a lot of course, first league goal, and someone else did get a first league goal in this game, and it's a player that has been getting a lot of positive feedback after his introduction here. And Laura Sonali, man, what a I'm gonna call that a banger because that's how it is. And man, no, just a what man, what a fantastic run! Like it's just like absolutely insane. Like if for us fans that have been seeing him for the past few games, he was just finding himself in open positions just so he can outpace all the defenders, and he did it here. And just got past Hugo Lloris. A lot of Tottenham fans love him. I don't like him just because I feel like he's very overrated, and he just got told by a young kid. So
yeah,
amazing goal.
Great ball from Escobar to set up Anali on that run to begin with, and then Anali with the forwards whenever they're out in the open like that 1v1s, they usually out dribble themselves or let the defenders catch back up and shit. No, he did not. He turned on the burners. He dribbled the ball. He just far enough away to where it drew the keeper out, and then the keeper like I'm dead, and Anali didn't shoot. He just said, "Let me dribble right around you and just put it in the net." And the keeper's just standing there like, "Guys, come on! Yeah, no, he has speed. He's only been on the field for 2 minutes too." And then this guy just burns a hole in the carpet, literal carpet, and just what a beautiful run, what a beautiful goal. Yeah, it was a great moment. Was a great moment.
Yeah, and that was a good part of the story because the bad one that we have to deal with now is his potential injury because he had to be subbed out afterwards because of what looks like a knee injury. We still don't know the gravity of that injury and if he's going to be sidelined. But apparently, just based on what Berhalter said in the press conference afterwards, doesn't look good, and a lot of fans are definitely concerned because he's a player that already shows promise in the first few games he has, and just potentially losing him for a long period of time is going to be very upsetting for a lot of fans, and rightfully so.
Look, he just got back to Houston. He probably spent all day yesterday, today being Monday as we record. He probably spent all day Sunday testing in Houston, talking to the doctors, and then they're just been going over the paperwork and looking at the x-rays and everything. And, hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday we'll hear and we'll get an update and a time frame on how long he's going to be out. But, yeah, definitely going to be out. And if the Dynamo don't want to say nothing and just it's obvious he's hurt and he's going to be gone for a while, and that's all we're going to tell you, then it'll be Thursday when the disciplinary report, the availability report comes out. It'll say out, knee, and whoop-de-doo. Yeah, we know he's out. We're just curious as to the severity of the injury, and hopefully it's not much. But I would like to say this is friggin' ridiculous. MLS. Hashtag MLS. Hashtag we're not playing on carpet. That turf was
Yep.
the worst, the ridiculous. There's even a moment on Apple TV, I'm sure it's been memed 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways now, where the referee is trying to fix the friggin' carpet, can't fix it. It's bundled up in a little mountain right here, and he even points at it and throws his hand up like, what am I supposed to do? Don't know what I'm supposed to do. Here. All right, so where I go, hashtag MLS, hashtag pro referees, y'all need to do something with it, because yes, LAFC need to take care of their field and take care of their stadium and make it presentable for these professional players to play on it in a manner where they feel safe and can't get hurt, and set it up. Two, when this game gets ready to get started, it is in the hands of pro referees to be like, hey, this field is not safe. So they are passing the field when this game starts. So people were like, we need to sue LAFC. Well, you're going to need to sue pro referees as well. They're both friggin' involved in the shittiness of this field and the dangers of this field. And it's amazing how much money LAFC has, how much money they put into their team and their players. And that's what they want to put out there. I wouldn't care about the rest of the concerts in the world. Concerts, you better go outside the stadium or something, or there is plans to work out. You can build a track and it puts you upfield all the way across your damn field, and you're not hurting your friggin' field. You live in LA. The weather's not so bad. You can have a beautiful grass friggin' field. This is an absolute joke, and MLS needs to take more serious into it and force teams to take care of their fields. It's their problem to fix it if they're over renting the damn stadium for crap.
And you said it yourself. The blame equally goes to pro, because they're the ones that at the end of the day they check the field and they deem it if it's playable or not. And it's just disappointing that their pros okay with these playing conditions, and in turn, teams and fans uh, take the brunt of the situation because they just get injured long term. And it happened to us. And it's just disappointing that MLS is okay with this with this situation. All, and of course, like whatever happens every every time on a weekly basis where a player gets injured on the field, let it be for turf or natural grass. Disappointing, but yeah, it's on them.
Yeah, big joke of a situation right there. Tough for Anali. So, like we said, hopefully he gets good news, and hopefully it's short term. Hopefully it's just just a big swelling and big bruising. He did get up and walk off the field on his own. He didn't need the cart. He didn't need the stretcher. So hopefully it's just the way the turf ate his knee up, which was pretty friggin' bad when you saw it happen. Uh, it, Hopefully it's just a bad swelling, and he's a young kid who obviously is strong in the legs, and this is just going to be something where he's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks because it's just a severe strain, and it's not going to be nothing else. And bench him for the rest of the season. I don't care if that's what it is. Save him. Not for the rest, because we have playoffs too, I guess. So, yeah, just find out what the deal is. Let him heal to his fullest extent, and then he can come back. However long it is, whether it be the 6-month version or whether it be the 6-week version. Let's just hope for good news. For his sake, not just for the fans' sake, for his sake, please. Such a talent. Sucks for him to be at 20 years old and have to go through this, but hey, that's what a lot of players go through, is injuries. So it's up to him to come back strong and do his rehab correct.
Yep. That was definitely the worst part about this one, because Houston will go ahead and get the 2-0 win here. 6th clean sheet of the year for Houston's defense. Awesome. And man, that win, that shutout for me was incredible. Just shutting down Wonga and LA's hot offense. It was just great. So massive 3 points for Houston.
They didn't even create nothing, man. I mean, so they got a couple opportunities out wide and put them on goals. Steve did have to make a couple saves. He did intercept a cross that was going straight for Mwanga. But other than that, they didn't let LAFC work the middle of the field at all. They had to try to transition down on Dynamo, and they weren't able to succeed on that and execute the next step of that, which was build up. And great job. The defense looked great, and like I said, that press was just immaculate that entire game, where they were just able to stymie LA on anything and everything that LA tried to do in this entire game. And then, Mid made the right subs. I still wish he would have stuck with his head and put Stairs in for Escobar, but Escobar talked his way out of that sub there at the end of the game. Yeah, it is what it is. It's okay. It worked out. He didn't get the second yellow anyways, so we're good.
Yeah, big one. And damn, I'm so happy about this result, especially coming out, especially the one against Toronto, just to pretty much alleviate the situation. But of course, we have to come back home to get those home points because we need those for the playoff push. Because the Western Conference right now, it's a mess, and a lot of teams are even with us.
Yep, closing in, keeping that gap. But I got another OSG thinks. Let's
All right.
talk about Ache, who is missing his edge right now. And everybody sees the difference in the type of player he is. Obviously, 21 goal contributions last year. And I think he's still obviously in single digits for this year and not even hitting the tally marker right now. But he's missing his edge, and you can see it in his gameplay. There's a couple of times where he's just making errant passes. And funny thing is, he was still the leading passer for accepted passes in this game. So he still made the most passes, but making a couple errant passes. He's not the greatest of defenders, so but is that he's playing the full 90 still. We're not subbing him out the end. I mean, we need to let Brooklyn Reigns come in and play some minutes at the end and trust this kid to come in and sub off to play some better defense. And obviously it's Brooklyn Reigns. There's nobody else. There's Grey Goose, but you're not going to go to him to take Ache off the field. You're going to stick with Ache. But, I would like to see Reigns get some more time at the end of games to give Ache a break. And, he's playing 90 minutes every game, and you can see he's not playing with the best of his ability right now. And so I need to change something a little bit different right there. But at the same time, you give Reigns an opportunity to get some minutes in, and because you don't have anything to back up Ache really right now. You can put in Blessing to play that role. You could put in Seba to play that role a little bit deeper, but it's probably Reigns that needs to be that person to play that role. Blessing is okay playing deep. He's used to it too, but, we don't need Ache playing 90 minutes no more, man. He's our captain and holds that team together, but at this point of the game, 10 minutes left, the 80-minute mark, the team could do without the captain for the final 10 minutes. He's already set him up. He's set him up for success. The team is building. Let's go. Sub Ache off, put somebody in with some energy, and let's finish this game out. I would like.
Yeah, and it's an approach they should have been considering at this point because Ache he's definitely up with that age where he's not gonna be playing 90 minutes every game like you mentioned, and yeah, he's probably still got like a year or two left in his tank, so it's something they have to consider going forward, especially managing playing time for all the players. Ache is gonna be one of those players that he's still very important to this team, but just for the sake of preserving his health and of course trying to have all the players play particular games. That's one of the things we have to think about, or at least Ben Olsen has to. So, yeah.
Preserving his health. Okay, let's say he gets hurt. We'll be in the same situation we were to start the season where we were shuffling people in and we didn't know what the hell's going on. So you need to have somebody in place that's ready to step in and be under the pressure that they're going to be under whenever if it happens. But you obviously need to prepare for it and plan for it, So Reigns, let's go. Going back to Anali, now that Anali's out, everybody's like, oh, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? They're talking about bringing up the kids from D2. Well, we still have Blessing who can play on that side. We still have Seba who can play on that side. So, and Aliyu is obviously going to get to start. You may see more playing time now for Aliyu to where he goes deeper into the games instead of being the first sub coming off the field. So you may see some different type of subs. But like I said, Blessing can play on that side. Seba can play on that side. You do have Mackenzie Gaines on the team who can play on that side. So Expect Mackenzie Gaines to be back on the bench and possibly seeing minutes over there. But I just went through a couple of names to fill in that gap and back up Aliyu at the same time. So missing Anali is going to be huge and a game changer. But we still have the depth, and we're still okay right there. So nothing really is going to change there too much. You just might see more of Aliyu for you Aliyu haters out there. If you're in the Aliyu army, you're going to see more time. And since we're talking about him, he did have a good game yesterday, and he didn't do anything to where he made any major mistakes. He didn't leave the ball behind on his dribbles. He took a beautiful shot, forced a great save, made a couple of great assists, and just did what he had to do yesterday. Nothing spectacular, but nothing that's like, oh, Aliyu, come on, bro. So good game for Aliyu.
And good game just for everyone, for Houston, honestly. Like they balled out and they got the job done.
Absolutely. I think that's all my final thoughts that I've got. OSG thought, and thoughts are out the door. Dash did what Dash do. Dynamo do what Dynamo do, or what we expect. Let's remind people that Dose do play on Sunday next weekend against Ventura County. That is the return of Chara to take on Dose. Yep. That'll be at Sabercat Stadium. Dash are on a bye. Dynamo are playing LAFC on Saturday night. So, our Dash on a bye? Crap.
No, they're playing Gotham on Sunday.
Gotham. Yeah, on Sunday at noon. That's right. That's that noon game. So, yeah, Sunday at noon against Gotham. So, that'll be fun, too. So, we'll be ready to bring the heat during the noon weather in New Jersey. But, yeah, that's all I got for today, man. Nothing else particular unless you got some extra news. I think I'm, tapped out.
Oh, yeah. The last thing, Houston, the Dynamo started their homestand, actually, against LAFC this weekend. It's going to be a big one because it's 3 games, 3 home games. LAFC first, RSL second, and then Vancouver third. And the last game against Vancouver is going to be a Wednesday before heading to Austin for the road game. So a lot of points on the table, man. It can definitely help us, especially at home, since it's been a place where we've been struggling for points this year for some reason. But lo and behold, we're still pretty good on the road for some reason. So it's interesting.
Hey, man, Juan Carlos. Got to go beat Juan Carlos anyways, too. So, but, yeah, we'll see what's going on. It'll be a different situation. Last place, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So let's go up there and just play some good soccer.
Yeah.
We'll see what lineup he puts out this week.
Just busy week of soccer ahead of us with those coming back. So a lot to look forward to. And, of course, the approach for the Dash for the remainder of the season. And yep, as always, guys, we do appreciate the support, and we do have our Patreon Ko-Fi where we put all of our content, all of our podcast episodes, all our blog posts. Everything's gonna be there, so you can share out with everyone that you know of, and of course, Goals TV where we put all of our video content as well as written articles. A good way to also find creators on Goals TV as well. And of course, as always, we have all of our channels updated on YouTube with all of our content. We started posting shorts, which are going great. For us, it was a little bit we're behind on shorts because we're just playing around with it, and thankfully we're back on the group of things. And lo and behold, our about play counts on our shorts have been pretty insane. So great, and we do appreciate the support that putting us there. Honestly.
Like you said, and when you're on Ko-Fi, it's in chronological order. So if you're looking for a particular game or for particular content, just make sure you're just scrolling down until you find the date that you're looking for. If you want to go back and look at a different game or read a different article or catch a different episode or go back and listen to the Tom Bogart episode, it's in chronological order. So just go search, look for it by date, and you'll find what you need. And like you said, the shorts are going on YouTube. They're the shorts that we've been doing on Twitter and that we've been doing on OSG from Noodle Time on TikTok. So the shorts are just everywhere, and there's just they get good views as long as we do them right. We keep them short, which we've been doing a good job of just keeping it short, getting the information out to you and being quick about it. So go check out a few of the shorts. We'll try to put more out of after every episodes, and the biggest ones that you're looking for are the ones from the press conferences after the games with the coaches and the players, where we, obviously everything's recorded, so we try to break you down for you and just give you a quick answer. And so that's what the shorts are. Go check them out. We did a funny one with Griff Dorsey where he showed us as he took his hair out of his bun and called out Seba saying he's got the best hair. So we made a little fun clip on that.
Yep.
And so there's one of the shorts. So go check it out on Foxtrot TV. OSG from Noodle Time on TikTok is where the other shorts go. And then, of course, our socials on Twitter, and IG as well. So they go there too as well. So check them out everywhere. Just check out our content and enjoy it. We'll try to get more out there, more content that you enjoy and you like to see.
Yep. And we're also open to feedback, so welcome to give us your thoughts and ways we can improve, because we finished working like overtime and just finding ways to put more content out there. And yeah, as he said, Noodle Tiempo, Dynamic Foxtrot on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, guys, we do appreciate support. And as always, y'all stay noodle.
She's up.
All right.
Well, yeah, we had to come back, man. We had to come back. This because as news is always dropping, and I don't pay attention to my phone when we're recording, so for good reason. But you turn it off, you're done recording, and then you look at your phone, and one of those people that we talked about on the free agency list for the Houston Dash, who every coach is like so far, who could be a piece that we might want to keep or might not. Sophie Hirst has been traded to the Portland Thorns for allocation money. So we thought we just needed to come on back, and it's for a $35K. So again, that's okay NWSL money, but it is a straight player traded for cash. So the Dash are just stockpiling cash where they can and sending players out while they can. So I think that looks like that's part of the plan. We're going to stockpile the roster spots and stockpile some money to go out and bring in different types of players that we can convince with money, because that's what we're going to have to show them to get them to come here. But sorry to interrupt the end of the show, guys. We had to come back because the Dash made a move that we understand still. Yeah. But whatever. Final thoughts, and we can get back out of here and let these people rest.
Honestly, at this point, it's kind of, and we mentioned already, like we're gonna have to see what actually happens, because we can speculate as much as we want. And it looks like they're just stockpiling cash right after the window closed. So it's kind of like, did we make any moves to bring someone in? Or are we just going to keep selling players to see how much cash we can get to do something in the off season? But yeah, we don't know. We'll have to see what's what. But yeah, the season's pretty much win out or take advantage of the situation to put something out there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how you come back to it. We just go to news. But yeah, off season, that's off season. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you guys. You thought we were gone. Surprise, surprise, we're back. So you probably even heard the outro music and everything. Well, surprise, surprise. But now, Foxtrot, you can kill it. We can go home and we can let people just think about what they just listened to on the show. Hit us up on Twitter. Tell us what you thought, guys.
Yeah, Peace. This time for real, y'all. Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate you, and as always, stay noodle, y'all.